I live in Freetown. It's a tiny little house, but it's good enough for me. I guess like a lot of guys around here, I started cooking at the camps, or for with my uncles, or for suppers with my friends. When I went to college, I definitely started cooking a lot more for myself. I really got into cookbooks and reading up on how to make food taste really good. My favorite kind of food to cook and eat is usually Asian food. I love to do stir fries, I love to do Thai curries, and I like making sushi. So I cooked a crawfish étouffée, which is something that I've been cooking for a long time. It's one of these meals that cooked it so much that it's second nature. I don't have to think about it. Every good étouffée starts off with some sort of fat, and I choose butter. It's about 1.5 sticks. 1 large onion, diced, some celery, diced up. I like to use 2 bell peppers, 1 green, 1 red, and that's really to add to the color of the whole dish. And then lots and lots of garlic. I like garlic very much. I use a whole bulb of garlic in my étouffée. So after all the vegetables are cut up and the butter's nice and melted, put it in the pot, and I don't saute the vegetables, I sweat the vegetables. You want the peppers to be soft and the onions to become translucent. And one thing that helps for that is by adding a little bit of salt. It helps draw out the moisture in those, and I usually add a little bit of garlic powder at the same time too, which tends to help with the flavor. As far as seasoning goes, I kind of just eyeball it, taste it here and there. And once the vegetables have sweated down to the right consistency, I add a can of Rotel tomatoes, which gives it a little bit of tomatoey flavor and a little bit of spice to it because there's jalapeno peppers in that can of Rotel. Also, I add an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Once the tomato sauce goes in, add about 1 cup of flour, which will basically make a roux. It gives it a nice thick consistency, and then I reconstitute that with chicken stock. You could use seafood stock, but I usually use chicken stock. It's much better than using water. It just gives it some added flavor to it. And I whisk that all in together till I get this nice consistency that I want, which I can kind of tell because there seems to be a sheen over the top. And then I add more seasoning, salt, pepper, red pepper. And after that, I keep it on very, very low, stirring frequently so it doesn't stick. And I cook it for about as long as it takes to cook a pot of rice, which is about 20 to 30 minutes. So I use Louisiana jasmine rice. I like the way the jasmine rice is more fragrant than the regular Louisiana rice that we use. One thing that I do is a little different than a lot of people is I add my crawfish, and in this case it's 2 pounds of crawfish. I add my crawfish last. I don't like the way that crawfish tails will, if they're cooked too long, they'll get really small and kind of hard. And once I add the crawfish tails, I'll add the onion tops and parsley and just turn the flame down, cap it, and let it sit there for about 15 minutes. And that way the crawfish is cooked all the way through, but it's still nice and tender. So once the rice is done, all that's left to do is put a scoop or 2 in a plate and ladle the crawfish étouffée over it and enjoy.